This is Mark.
And this is Rob.
Let's start the show. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode. We do apologize. We haven't recorded in, I believe, 2 weeks. 1 week due to the fact I had brutal food poisoning, and then last week we just had personal issues. But glad to be back. And so we're on episode 42 for the greater good. Before we dive in, Rob, how's everything going?
Everything's going all right. Trying to stay busy at work. Sticking to the grind. You know, just typical bullshit. I guess everyone's having the same kind of week that I'm having. Hopefully everyone's doing better than I am, actually. How about you?
Pretty good. Basically, just I keep monitoring. I keep looking at my camera outside ever since the talks of FEMA going door to door. You know, they're coming around just to educate non-vaccinated people on why they should get it.
Yeah, I was looking at the article. Well, Biden was talking about doing something like that since the beginning of his presidency back in January. Talking about how his goal was 100 million vaccines within the first 100 days, and how he was going to use FEMA and accompany them with the National Guard to educate them, like he said, about the benefits of getting the vaccine and what it'll do and how it's done. And like we were talking about off the show, it's all obviously premeditated for something bigger in the future, right?
Yeah, I mean, his goal was to hit 70% of the population vaccinated by July 4th, which he didn't hit. So basically, whenever he was talking about door to door in the past, it was basically a threat, you know, which we've seen plenty of threats coming from the government scarily this year. But
Yeah, one of the funniest was when Biden said, "Oh, you guys got guns, we got nukes." You know, like we talked about one of our episodes. This guy's a complete
yeah, that
asshole,
was
man.
I think that was the title of our last episode.
Oh, yeah, it was, yeah. But yeah, this is so many stupid threats that the government's making. Joe Biden is like not doing very well right now in office, and everybody knows it. The all the Democrats that were all for him, everybody in the country who voted for him, are all realizing now what a piece of shit this guy really is, how much he sucks at his job, and how basically he's just not mentally stable or mentally able to do the job properly that he's supposed to be doing, and it's really showing over these last since his presidency. So.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, it's obvious. Not only is it obvious the election was cheated, he's obviously a fucking puppet that was needed. You look,
Yeah,
he
but
doesn't even know
he's
what
such a
he's
poorly
fucking talking
performed
about.
puppet. Yeah, well, if he's it's the fact that he's a puppet. He can't even perform what a puppet really is supposed to be doing. He can't even do that job right.
Well,
He's
yeah,
just
I
not
mean
all
that.
there.
See, that scares me more. How stupid our society is that they're able to use someone as incompetent as him.
Yeah. So you were telling me off the show. So they already started out what? Oregon,
Well,
Oregon.
no, I was just laughing because talking about that, I saw this kid looked like your typical like liberal, like Gen Z or young millennial, like soy boy drive. He was driving like a fucking. I forgot what he was driving, like a fucking Honda Fit or something, and he had a sticker that said, "I guess Biden, but this is bullshit."
That's actually awesome. I gotta find
Yeah,
that
but
sticker.
but see, the thing that's not awesome about it, he's one of the many idiots that don't realize it was cheated because he'll vote for fucking Osama bin Laden before he would vote for Trump, you know. As long as Trump's out, anyone's better. That's their mindset.
Yeah, exactly.
But see, I'm
But
starting to
still,
think that that's how they I think they kind of set that up with Trump though. Cuz when you think about it, like they made Trump so hated and everyone was like, you know, not my president, this and that. And now all the people that liked Trump that say Biden isn't their president, they're like, you know, the Democrats like, oh, well, you called us cupcakes for saying that and blah, blah.
I don't know about that, but I think it's more of a setup for the idea that they put Biden. I mean, if you want to look at it this way, they put Biden in office. They cheated the election. to show people what it'd be like to have someone with such a radical idea of how the country should be run, and basically making everyone turn against this one idea for another Republican president to come back in 2024, whether it be Donald Trump or someone else. Which everybody's sitting there, saying that Donald Trump is going to get reelected in 2024. And obviously, I think he said he's going to rerun. Whether he's going to get reelected or not, I don't know. That kind of depends on how they manipulate the law and how they're going to do the next election. Because I think the way they did this election is going to be the new standard from now on, unless something changes.
Oh yeah, well, see, I know I heard a bunch of different things, but going to the door to door FEMA people coming to quote unquote educate us on why we should get the vaccine for those of us who still aren't vaccinated. Um, you know, where I am in Nevada, they started sending out FEMA door to door people this week, but I was reading last week in Oregon, they were sending the FEMA people out door to door with National Guardsmen, you know.
Yeah, that's why would you need the National Guard to accompany you for educational? I mean, it's not like they're Jehovah Witnesses or nothing like that. And even Jehovah Witnesses, man, they got more fucking balls going door to door than these fucking people from FEMA do.
See, all you got to do is play the castle doctrine, all right? So hear me out. This is all you got to do. Ignore your door, never answer your door, and if it ever gets to the point that they forcefully come in, buy yourself a fucking hearing aid in case they address who they are before they break in. Boom, that's it. They came into your house, your hearing impaired. You sit.
Or just have your headphones in. Just have your headphones in pretending to listen to music.
That's it. But yeah, I mean, I think it's going to get to that point. It definitely seems like a stage. You know, I'll tell you one thing. I was telling you this before we started recording. Right now, they're just trying to mark down, like, have definite answers of who is and who isn't vaccinated. And I'll tell you one thing. The second time they come around, you do not want to be home if you fucking answer the door and talk to them.
Yeah. So I mean, this started back in March. It says when it got pretty much pushed through to go through where they will do door to door with the National Guard. It says here March 31st. Under Title 32 status, National Guard remains under command and control of their respective governors, funded by the government defense, blah, blah, blah. Troops, they will help distribute food, PPE, along with help support for COVID-19 with FEMA. Yeah, wow, that's fucking crazy. Today, FEMA has obligated 2.7 billion to the National Guard mission, basically going towards this door-to-door thing. And like I was saying earlier, like you said before we even started the show, I mean, this is obviously something premeditated for something that's going to come in the future, and I think it's more or less a possibility because, like you said before the show, you were saying how not for nothing, yeah, they might come around door to door, looking all nicey nice, trying to educate you just to find out who has the vaccine and who doesn't, right? Like you just said, and fucking yeah, once they find out who doesn't have it, fucking bang, you're it.
Yeah, that's it. It's either gonna be you're either gonna be sent to a FEMA camp or they're gonna just force it in you.
God,
But they already had, and we actually talked about the FEMA camps in Canada last year, like the end of last year, beginning of this year.
yeah,
That's what they're starting to set up here, which is fucking terrifying. So basically, they're brainwashing everyone to hate you. That's why, because in reality, this isn't a fucking vaccine. That's why people call it the jab. I mean, there's millions of fucking people that tested positive for it that were asymptomatic, didn't know they had it. And if you read really deep into the origin of why they used a type of COVID as biological warfare, is because everyone, especially the test they use, like deep in your nose, everyone has some form of COVID in them. So they
yeah,
chose a virus that they could easily fear people with. And I'll tell you one thing, I've been telling people too. It's like, because people talk about like plagues, epidemics, shit, and that, pandemics, this and that. And even now it's getting along the lines, if you don't like, if you're against the jab, they're like, they're like, oh well, I care about the safety of myself and my family, and they'll start bringing up like the polio vaccine, this and that. And then it's like, but in reality,
Yeah.
when you compare the two, say like polio, fucking Spanish flu, no, or even the fucking Black Plague. There was no people that were asymptomatic, and what you telling me that there was people that didn't know that something was wrong with them when they had polio, and the doctor just told them to sit home for 14 days till you get better, and then a vaccine came out.
Yeah, you can't feel your legs. Don't worry, that'll go away. Just sit at home 14 days. You'll be all right. You can't.
I'm
You
just
find it hard to
saying, it's
breathe.
like
Shit,
fuck.
stay home.
Almost everyone I knew that got it said it felt like a cold. Either had no symptoms or said it felt like a cold.
Yeah, I heard it. I heard it pretty much was like a sinus infection. At least that's what my family told me. People I know who got it. So it was more or less like a sinus infection.
Well, I still think I had it last year because I was like a year and a half ago. I was sick as fuck for like almost 2 months.
Yeah, I was sick for a little while too, around the same time, but I'm not sure if it was COVID. It could have been though. I was having a hard time breathing. I really couldn't taste much of anything. I guess it probably was COVID before it
Yeah, I'm
became this
saying
big
it.
thing. But
I was like that with the difficulty breathing and the fevers and shit. And
then again, I wasn't really living that healthy either. I was a fucking hermit, staying at home all day. So I really can't imagine me how I would get it. Besides my occasional trip to the store to get myself cigarettes and some sauce.
see, I only figured because those were like the first like 2 months I was unemployed from Uber. And towards the end of my Ubering, everyone was freaking out to get home. So I was just doing airport runs all day, touching
Yeah,
like
yeah,
touching a bunch of luggage all day and like smoking cigarettes without washing my hands.
yeah. Possibly, we probably did have it,
Well, I'm
but
saying
who knows?
majority of the people I drove home in February of last year were people from other countries that were
Oh
trying to
yeah,
get
yeah, but yeah,
home before
you're
the
doing the shared rides and
flight ban.
everything. Yeah.
But they were all like from Europe, Australia, trying to get home before like Trump's
Hmm.
flight ban went into place.
Yeah. So now, in all reality, what would you really do if they come knocking on your door? Like, what would you, in all reality, just to say, they come knocking your door right now? What would you do? What would your reaction be? Just not answer the door?
Yeah, most likely.
I wonder how far they would go. Just to get you to answer your door. They probably have like your fucking phone number and everything. Probably try calling you. They're like, where are you? Be like, oh, I'm out in New York right now, family. They're like, I could see you on your computer.
Well,
Answer the
yeah, I'm
fucking door.
saying. Well, see, the thing is, even if you ignore the door, I mean, no answers are gonna be as just as bad as people that say they're not vaccinated. Eventually, if no one puts a stop to this shit, I mean, these are the real fucking protests we need too. Because if you look at all the protests going on around the world right now, they're protesting against this shit. We're like one of the only fucking first world countries that's like supporting all this bullshit.
Well, behind closed doors, I mean, that's what they put out there in the media. They make it look like that, yeah. But I think most Americans right now, a lot more Americans aren't really for it,
Yeah,
and it's
you'd
showing.
you'd be
It's
surprised.
showing.
Even when I go out here, like all the vaccinated people not wearing masks, and then it's like now you get
Yeah.
weird. Like where I live now, you get weird looks for wearing a mask because they like assume you're not vaccinated.
Yeah, I don't get that over here. I don't know, but Florida's like its own little country, so
Yeah, but I also live in Vegas, so majority of the people here think they're fucking like saved from the fucking jab and they're on vacation.
yeah. Like I said, Florida's like its own little entity, its own little world. Uh, like they took away the mask mandate for a while now. They say they're not gonna put it back in place again. They're not making supposedly they're not making shit mandatory for you to have to get the vaccine for whatever reasons, all that kind of stuff. So, but there is an article you sent me talking about how if you look into what they passed with that, how they still have the ability if they deem necessary to put you either in quarantine, force you, or have you get the vaccine. If you don't want to get the vaccine, they'll force you to a mandatory quarantine. All this kind of crazy shit. So
See, I
there's
want to
still a
get
lot of
a
stuff going on.
I want to get a house like in the middle of nowhere in Pennsylvania or something.
I was thinking like, I'm not gonna lie, I was thinking Texas, like somewhere out in fucking Texas, and just be left alone. Like have a nice big ranch out there and have my own little airport right there. I have a plane for myself.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, who knows, but if I can if you have no neighbors in like an hour in each direction, maybe you'll luck out and they won't waste their time on you.
Yeah, right. Unless it could be like one of those scenes in Breaking Bad where you see the government driving through the desert for like hours just to find one person.
Yeah, right.
This guy isn't vaccinated. Fucking, these come fucking roaring in there with fucking tanks and shit.
See, fuck, that's why, you see all like how scary it is, all the fucking people in our country that are like for socialism and communism, whatever. And then you look at the protests in Cuba where they're waving American flags like they want to get rid of communism.
Yeah, over here in Florida, being Florida's like the Cuba fucking capital of the country, there's a bunch of people out here in Tampa. Like just over the weekend, yesterday, there was all down Dale Mabry, which Dale Mabry is where they have the Buccaneers Stadium, the stadium out there. They were
Yeah.
all lined up down the stadium, waving Cuban flags and all kind of stuff. Freedom, liberty for Cuba, freedom for Cuba. Cops are lined up the whole entire way. I was like, holy shit, driving down the block. And I gave him
Yeah,
some
but
beeps. I'm not
see,
gonna lie, I support it, but still.
what I was reading, the people in Florida protesting didn't realize what Cuba was protesting for.
What do you mean?
Like there was basically like a bunch of liberals here that like thought they were like protesting over something else, like the complete opposite. Like
Oh,
cuz
like what?
now
Like
well
America's racist against Cubans or something?
well yeah, the mainstream media basically brainwashed everyone to think that Cuba was like protesting against like American United States interference. Because now what Cuba's government did, they blocked all the info that comes in and out. They blocked all their citizens from using social media. And now Cuba's saying that their citizens are pissed over basically United States interference. And
Oh, they're
now
fucking
our
morons.
country's protesting because they think capitalism is fucking up like their amazing communism or some bullshit.
I don't know. That's not what the Cubans over here are protesting.
Well, no, yeah. If you have actual people from Cuba with family there, they know what the deal is. I'm talking about the fucking, that.
Just a regular libtard
Yeah,
fucking.
basically the fucking average white liberal that thinks they're on a pedestal for caring about minorities.
Yeah, with their fucking purple and pink hair, fucking piercings in their eyeballs.
It's like no, no, Karen. They're fucking crying because they want what you have. You fucking moron.
Yeah, true that.
But
Yeah,
then I
Cuba's
was
gonna do a lot of
watching
bullshit, man.
the protests in France. Which now these protests are a good thing because remember, I mean, we've talked about it on plenty of episodes. All this shit, as crazy as it seems, it is an
Mm-hmm.
attempt to set us up for the new world order. But
Yeah.
you got France protesting now, and I was watching the protests in Paris and everything, and they were chanting freedom and USA and this and that. And the reason they were protesting, though, France passed a law starting August 1st that any business in France that fails to check every single customer or client for their vaccine card will be fined $53,000, and if they fail to pay, they'll go to prison for a year.
Yeah, it's just fucking ridiculous. That just shows you how over the top they're going with this fucking virus. That again, I claimed since the fucking beginning is a fucking bullshit thing that they're overhyping. Again, not saying the virus is fake. Like I said multiple times, I'm not saying it's fake. But I'm saying they overhype this fucking thing for control over these fucking people who all now are going, shit, this fucking sucks. Now we lost all of our fucking liberties, all our fucking rights. Just regular fucking civil rights. We lost every fucking thing all because of this little virus that really doesn't do anything to you.
See, I don't know. I'm getting to the point where I might think it's fucking somewhat fake because even talking about how like people would test positive and they would tell them to quarantine, for 14 days. It's like literally the only people I know that died from COVID went to the hospital to get treated for it.
Really?
Everyone I know that stayed home just fucking had minor symptoms or got better.
Yeah, but didn't they go to the hospital because their symptoms were so extreme?
No, they went to one of those like testing sites or like got tested at the drugstore or at the drive up tents.
And they went straight to the hospital.
Well, no, I'm talking about the ones that stayed home. I only know a few people that supposedly died from it, but everyone that died from it, had it, was nervous, went to the hospital.
Yeah, but I thought they weren't taking in people who were just nervous. I thought you had to have some crazy symptoms, and even some people who had crazy symptoms weren't even able to get admitted.
I mean, all I know is everyone I know that just quarantined at home had minor symptoms and was fine. And the people that had major symptoms or were bad. Like, what doesn't make sense to me is, like, how could they even recommend you to stay home for 2 weeks? But then if you're in the hospital for it, like, you got to worry about oxygen shortages, shit like that.
Yeah, right.
Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. It's like, all right, so if you stay home for 2 weeks, you'll recover. But if you come to the hospital, you're going to be on ventilators and you might die.
Yeah, but I think that was per case. Each individual has different reactions to the virus. You know, my father got it twice. The first time, he had symptoms. The second time, he had nothing. He had no symptoms. He was asymptomatic towards it the second time. He didn't even know he even had it the second time until he went to a regular checkup.
Yeah, well, bro, that's kind of
Then
like
there's some people who get it. And they go extreme. They can't breathe. Everything.
what I was saying before the show, though, because this has a lot to do with the brainwash. So you go back a year ago, and basically everyone now that's pro experimental chemical,
Mm-hmm.
back like basically everyone now that's proud that they got the vaccine and is for the vaccine were the ones that were like for the lockdowns last year and taking it like crazy serious, justifying every freedom that was being taken away. But
Yeah.
last year, when you talk to them, you would be like, oh, well, only X amount of people died out of 300 million, whatever, just throwing random numbers out there for the point. And they would be like, well, yeah, but what if it was your mom? What if it was your family member, this and that? But now, when it comes to this jab for the greater good of society,
There it is.
you could you could talk about you could talk about all the people, you could talk about X amount of people that died or had bad side effects from the vaccine, but then they'll be like, oh, well, every vaccine has side effects. Oh, well, but then in reality, it's like those of us who are against taking it could use the same argument they used last year. Well, what if it was your family? Because guess what? Last year, people were fucking crying to you. Oh, well, just because you have to go out to Applebee's, my grandmother died. You're a selfish, bigot piece of shit, blah, blah, blah. But if you went up to a vaccinated person that was mad that you weren't vaccinated and told them your daughter died, they'd be like, oh, well, that happens with vaccines.
And some kids die.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some kids just die,
This is what it is. Yeah. As usual, fucking. It's aggravating, it's upsetting, and it's fucking bullshit how certain people think it's so easy to sway their mind as long as you're giving them what they want to hear. You know what I mean? And that's exactly what the government's doing with this virus, with everything about like how socialist is a great, socialism is a great idea, communism is a great idea, and they don't try and play it up as communism or anything like that. They play it up as progressivism. And what I find funny, going back to that Cuba thing real quick, is now that something's going down in Cuba, which everybody always, like even Bernie Sanders, the savior Bernie Sanders that everybody loves, said that he loved how Cuba was and how Cuba's government was, and he visited them. And he loved it. Now look what's going on with Cuba. So now what's your excuse? Because our excuse before, well, our thing we used to try to say before was, okay, well, if you like us so much, then look at Venezuela. People will be like, oh, well, Venezuela was going through this, blah, 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 whatever. Then you
Yeah,
say,
but
okay, well, we'll look at
Venezuela
Cuba. And then
was
they're like, oh, Cuba ain't that bad. Cuba's doing pretty good. Now look at Cuba. It's going on right fucking now. So now what's your fucking excuse? Now what's your reply to
well,
that?
Venezuela was also a country that Bernie Sanders idolized.
Yeah, same, yeah. Venezuela, Cuba. He said these countries are run beautifully. We love how they're done, how they operate. And look at that. Venezuela failed. And we said, oh, well, look at Venezuela. Oh, they're like, oh, well, Venezuela's going through this kind of this and that turmoil, whatever bullshit. And they still
Well,
think Cuba
bro,
was doing all right.
it's funny too because fucking it's just bro, it just shows how retarded fucking people are. You can't even have conversations with most of these people because you have all these idiots that like hate money and hate rich people, like because I forget his name, the guy that owns Virgin, whatever. But him and Bezos with their billionaire like space travel competition. Those like and I see these liberal idiots online. They'll post how horrible our society is because billionaires are spending so much money to travel to space while we have hungry homeless people, blah 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 blah. But then the same people be upset that about like Britney Spears with her dad controlling her money, and like fucking Hunter Biden was under fire for like selling like ridiculously expensive art because he was sold like a painting he made for like $500,000. And then those same idiots that hate the billionaires, they also said, oh, well, he has a right to pursue art if he likes it. But when it comes to the socialism, I don't know if you saw that or not, but Biden like came out like the other day bashing it.
Yeah. Yeah. My fucking microphone was muted for some reason. I was talking and nothing was coming out. I was like, what the fuck? My
Uh,
bad.
you would think
But
he's a professional or something. What the fuck?
sorry, we're still working solo, so we don't have any sound engineers helping us out here. But
That's it. That's it. Yeah, we don't have any sound engineers. We gotta hit the left
do
click manually like fucking
mindly mute.
peasants.
That's right. We do it.
That's
We do
why we.
everything
That's why.
ourselves.
That's why you guys gotta go check out our merch. We need to hire someone to fucking click the button first.
Help give you guys better content. We're doing the best we can, but hell, sometimes a little bit of help might, it goes a long way.
That's it.
But yeah, have you seen? What you were saying, yeah, I agree with you. I mean, it's just fucking ridiculous like, how much they need fucking pretty much how they need to hold their hands and show them the way. And like you saying with the painting and everything like that, like oh, because some people could appreciate art, and I said to an extent, yeah, I could see that, but come on, really,
Well, my whole point is these are the people that hate people with money.
yeah, yeah, that's true. I'm trying to find this one fucking article, man. It's not popping up because I think it's something pretty funny. I want to talk. It's a little off topic, but I want to bring it up real quick. Have you heard about the Freedom Phone?
Freedom phone.
Yeah, the Freedom Phone.
Well, I guess with my response, you know the answer.
Yeah. So I'll just look. So I'll tell you right now what it is. I'll give you an exact description. What it is. Basically, I forgot what the person's name is, but the Freedom Phone it came from this a guy who is more or less conservative. It's like a smartphone, but there is no way to be tracked. There's no blockers. There's no way to be uncensored. It has its own app store that can't be censored. It's got its own basically everything there is it's basically a free speech, privacy focused phone, and it's there to fight against basically what's going on right now with government censorship. And if anybody hasn't known or hasn't heard yet, the White House recently admitted to working with Facebook to censor free speech to American citizens, especially towards people who talk about the COVID virus because it might lack the information or be false information. In other words, basically, if you say something that goes against what they're trying to push out there with their narratives, they're going to censor you. So this phone avoids that, right? And I think it's a really good idea. I think it's clever. It works with AT&T, Verizon, all that, T-Mobile, all that shit. But of course, left-wing media out there, they say do not buy the Freedom Phone. It's a hack. It's fucked up. And what's funny part about it is look at the all these daily news, New York Daily News, CNET, anywhere you go, they're all trying to bash the Freedom Phone. And you know what they got to say about it? It's two things. One, that they won't release the specs, or that they don't have any specs on it, and two, it's made in China. And this is a literally article. This is the Daily News. Right-wing activists push $500 Freedom Phone, made in China, and seemingly available under a less patriotic name for $120. So that's 2 points right there. It's fucking retarded, right? Freedom Phone made in China. That's one of the biggest points I try to push you. If I go further read the article, they're trying to say it's made in China, basically trying to take a stab at how the right-wing conservative is pushing a thing that's made in China. Meanwhile, it's like, okay, well, every fucking cell phone you have is made in China. All right, especially fucking Apple iPhones and all that kind of stuff. It's made in fucking China. That's not a fucking surprise. And two, they're trying to say it's another phone could be similar to it for less patriotic for $120. That's like me going down to say like a Michaels, right? Picking up a piece of paper, and I fucking draw a piece of art on it, and I sell it for $100. That's like they come out with an article saying this guy who sells his painting for $100 is actually a $10 piece of is actually worth $10. It's like,
Well,
no, I fucking paint on a piece of paper, asshole. I put work into it.
oh yeah, bro. Well, see, that's the whole thing, and people laugh at you too. I mean, this society is just being brainwashed to hate white people, to hate success, this and that. Because Richard Branson, the CEO of Virgin, who just went
Yeah.
into space, fucking, I saw a meme about him, and it like corrected like a headline, quote unquote corrected, and it said like, it said straight white cisgendered male has too much money, blah, blah, and travels to space. When in reality, though, it's like they'll laugh at you when you say like the hardest person to be today is like a straight white, I guess now cisgendered male. But then in reality, those are the only people that get bashed. Everyone hates Elon Musk. Everyone hates Donald Trump. Everyone hates Branson. But in reality, no
Yeah.
one complains about Michael Jordan. He's a fucking billionaire. No one complains
Yeah.
about Dr. Dre, Oprah Winfrey.
Free.
I
Yeah.
mean, these are all non-white, and there's female fucking black billionaires that exist, and no one complains about them fucking living in mansions
No,
while
they
people
don't
are
even
starving.
acknowledge that they exist. They
Exactly.
don't even acknowledge their existence.
Because
It's
they
fucking
like
ridiculous.
them.
Yeah. But I think it's fucking crazy. I mean, everything is going fucking great. I always say that. It's like a new catchphrase. I put that on my tombstone, my headstone. But how these companies and left wing media is pushing the narrative, saying that these phones, which I just found the name. The kid's name is Eric Finman, who is a self-proclaimed Bitcoin millionaire. He's 22 years old, and he decided to come up with this phone ever since the quote unquote insurrection on the Capitol in January 6th, because from there, big tech companies started casting the blame on the right wing activists for all sorts of crazy shit, ignoring the fact that fucking Antifa did what they did over the last 4 years, 5, 6 years even. And there's one time MAGA supporters went out of their way and did fucking have a riot. Now they're casting out everybody from big tech companies for their speech or what they say. Places, platforms like Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, all of them. So he came up with his own fucking phone, saying, "No, now I have my own phone with our own apps, and we're gonna fucking do it this way, and it can't be traced, can't be tracked. Uh, nothing can, basically nothing can be censored on it. That's it." And now they're trying to shut it down and come up with any excuse just to force you not to buy the fucking phone.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm fucked on that.
What do you mean?
I'm saying I love Apple way too much.
I'm not gonna lie. I think I might get this. I will get this phone because I want to see what it's all about. It just actually came out. I think it says right here actually. It came out this past Tuesday. Oh, it came out the 16th. What was that? 2 days ago. So 2 days ago. So that's when the article was. It says here Wednesday. All right, yeah, it's past Wednesday, and I think it's a good. I want to try it out. I really want to see how safe. I guess not really safe, but how untraceable it is, and how I could be, I guess anonymous in a way.
I think
these apps and everything.
it's funny though. Anyone that knew me back in the day would probably think they're having a stroke if they heard me say I love Apple.
Yeah, yep. You're always really against it because you like the idea of modifying your phone and everything.
Yeah, you know what it is? I liked it when I was like 19, but now that like I have to worry about like identity theft and shit.
Especially all the shit that happened to you.
I'm
Yeah,
saying I'm saying iPhone has fucking everything. It's fucking they basically caught up for the most part, and they last longer. They do last long. Like you buy an iPhone from within the last 2 years, you'll get like 5 to 8 years out of it before you like really feel like you need an upgrade.
mm,
Like, bro, I have
yeah.
family
I guess.
members that still use like an iPhone 5 from 2012, and their only complaint is that the battery drains fast. Like, I'm saying, but like everything still works. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You will
Well,
not
not that
find
if I
you
didn't
will
break my
not
screen.
find one Android from 10 years ago that's bearable to use.
I had the 7 I used for a while.
Yeah, but that's
S7 I
not
used for a
10
long
years
time.
old. That's still like a 5-year-old phone.
Yeah, true.
And you got rid of it a couple of years ago. So you had it for a long time, but you still got rid of it when it was only a 2, 3 year old phone.
Yeah, I guess. That's true. That's a good point.
Like I'm saying,
But well, mine's still pretty fucking good too.
last year I was using an iPhone 8, which came out in like 2016, and I had no issues with it at all.
Yeah.
I
Well,
only
I still
upgraded.
got my Note 10.
I only upgraded because I found a phone with more memory for a really good price for switching carriers.
Mm. I still got my Note 10. If it wasn't for my broken screen, I think it would be pretty fucking good.
See, bro, I'm not gonna lie. I have that 11 Pro Max. The only thing that makes me want to update is for 5G. But other than that, it's a fucking mint phone.
Yeah, you for that 5G thing?
Yeah, I use. We recently switched because our internet was so expensive. T-Mobile just rolled out 5G home internet, and we get our upload speed is usually anywhere between like 30 and 70, and our download speed is anywhere from like 100 to 400, and it's flat $50 a month for life, no
Yeah.
contracts.
Yeah, I was gonna pick that up, but fucking, it wasn't in my area for the longest time. And I just said, screw it. I bit the bullet. I want to get in Spectrum, and I get pretty good internet with my Spectrum. Literally the week after I get my Spectrum, T-Mobile internet calls me and says, "Oh, you still want the internet? We can get it to your place now. Now it's available." I said, "You literally called me at the wrong time. I literally just got Spectrum internet." Like, "Oh, you
See,
don't want to switch?" I'm like, "No, I just got this internet. It's the same
you
price.
know
I'm not
what
gonna
I
get it."
noticed lately, especially today, that got me thinking because we had heavy rain today.
What?
Because, like, when we had coaxial internet service with Cox, fucking whenever it would rain heavy, we would have outages or it would slow down. But the thing about this 5G home internet, it runs off cell towers. Like, you just plug it into the wall and set it up through the app, and then it's good to
Yeah.
go. And it has like a little touch screen on top of the router. It shows you. It's weird too because it's a touch screen and it's like this tiniest circle, and you just swipe through. It actually has a phone number attached to it.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
honestly,
I still
the
want one,
funny
but
part though, because that it's weird too. It's such like a futuristic looking thing. Because that little circle screen on the top, I keep seeing text messages from like mad random girls. Like some guy must have been like cheating on his wife or something and like ditched his number. Cause bro, I have like 100 messages from like all different bitches like on that little screen. Cause they
what did the
gave us
messages
a
say?
random phone number. Oh,
Have you read the messages? That
it's
you
just
can't read
like
them.
hey, no, you could read them on it too. It says
That's
like,
awesome.
hey, sweetie, oh, this is Karen, oh, this is Susan, oh, this is Cheryl from the other night.
Oh my god.
I'm like, yo, they must have just gave us some number that some like
Some
schlub just
gigolo
got rid
fucking.
of.
That's awesome.
But yeah, it's cool. I mean, it tells you how many devices are connected to it. It shows you like a service signal. But the thing I like about it, if you think about it, like, especially if it's stationary and you have a good connection, you almost essentially never have to worry about it going out. Because even in my whole life, I never remember cell towers being down. And besides Hurricane Sandy, when we lived in New York, when all the cell towers went out.
Yeah. Well, speaking
So
of the devil,
essentially, you don't really have to worry about like storms and shit knocking out the coaxial technology or the wiring or a telephone pole, as long as you have a
yeah.
ledge. And that's the other thing, too. This router holds a charge. So you could like lose
Hmm.
power all day and still have internet access as long as the router's charged and the cell towers are up.
Yeah.
So it doesn't even need to be plugged in to fucking use it. This shit's fucking
Yeah, I
crazy.
saw that. Yeah, I think it's fucking awesome. And it's funny is now you just brought up the thing about the thunderstorms. As you talk about thunderstorms, I hear thunder outside now. It's starting to rain. You're a fucking jinx, bastard.
But yeah, the only reason I was even contemplating, I guess when the iPhone 13 comes out, I'll see if I could get a cheap 12 or something when the price goes down, because the 12s were the first iPhones to get 5G.
Yeah, my Note 10 had the option. My Note 10 Plus had the option to get 5G. I'm like, fuck that 5G shit. I don't want to be controlled by the government, so I got the 4G. I don't
Fuck
even know if
that.
that's even
Well,
true anymore, but I don't know.
see now the new theory out there is that 5G is exacerbating vaccine side effects.
Yeah, apparently there's a bunch of things that 5G can do with that specific wavelength, that bandwidth, whatever you want to call it. How it could actually manipulate how you think, it could make you depressed, it could make you fucking happy, it could make you do a lot of shit, and it kind of scared me away. But now there's so many 5G towers up surrounded by them now
Oh
that
yeah, that
even though
doesn't
I don't have
matter.
a 5G, yeah, exactly. Even though I don't have a 5G phone, I'm still gonna get the effects from it just from the towers all around me.
I know. That's why I laugh when people are like, "Oh, I'm not getting 5G. It's dangerous." It's like, the waves are still passing you, right? If everyone around you has it, you don't even need a phone to be affected by it.
Exactly. I mean, I guess when it first was coming out, if everybody just stuck together and just said no, we're not getting it, then yeah, they'd probably be better off, and they'll probably say fuck, we're not doing 5G then. But most people saying yeah, we'll do 5G,
You
better
know why
internet,
it
better
doesn't
service.
scare
Yeah,
me? Because you could fucking watch shit from 20 years ago when they were warning people how, like, cell phones, like flip phones, just talking on the phones were, like, causing brain tumors and shit. It's like, at this point, we're just fucked. Just fucking enjoy the faster speed.
well, also if you did look at they do have, I think there's a recent one on YouTube where they compare the amount of radio activity or whatever it is that comes out of the old cell phones compared to the new ones, and it's fucking crazy how much came out of the old ones, the radioactive fucking waves or whatever.
See, the
It
only
was fucking
reason
bad.
I wanted, well, first off, my Cricket plan includes 5G. So if I get a 5G device, I just already have it. But I saw a video of a guy doing a speed test, and I saw the 5G Cricket phone was getting like 200 over like 80, download
Yeah,
and
it's as good as
upload
my
speed.
internet.
But I'm saying, and that's your like cell phone data. That's fucking insane.
Yeah, yeah, it's fucking incredible. And now it's fucking downpouring, motherfucker. But
That's all
yep,
right. It sounds kind of relaxing.
a little bit of white noise in the background. But I think that's all about I got right now, man. Like I said, I think one of the biggest things besides what we just talked about is how basically that cunt Pulaski, how Pataki, however you want to pronounce her last name, came to the White House, like I said, and she admits how they want to use Facebook and all social media basically to censor the free speech and everybody of what they're saying. And it kind of shoot themselves in the foot because, as you know, and everybody out there does know, Trump is Trump is fucking is actually now filing a class action lawsuit against all of them. And in Florida and I think one other or two other states, they've passed a legislature saying that anyone who has been censored or had their videos taken down or anything like that in their state from these particular social media sites, platforms, that you could actually sue them. And a lot of shit is happening with that because even there's a website called it's called I just had it up here before. TakeOnBigTech.com. It's a website made by Donald Trump and his people. Basically, You register with them, and if you have any sort of problems that happen with you, if you were censored by big tech companies, then you would join them in their lawsuit, and also you could donate to them too, as well. I think it's pretty fucking cool.
Oh
Not
yeah,
sponsored,
I
no
mean,
no sponsorship or nothing like that. Not plugging it. Just saying I think it's cool.
well, yeah, that's a good time to plug everything. So check our description or our podcast bio where you could access all of our platforms. Follow us on everything if you like us, please. It helps us. We need a little help in the growing department. Also, don't forget to check out our website, snswithmarkandrob.com, where you could access all of our content in one convenient location. And
Mm.
yeah, check out our merchandise. We got shirts, mugs, hats, anything you could think of.
I think it's the first time ever in my life I can finally say that I'm a shower, not a grower.
What?
Well, because we're showing something, we're doing our content, but we're not growing much. So I guess we're showers, not growers.
I mean, given now, remember, because we're not like 100% on either side, so we're the types of people. If we stick at this for like 10 to 15 years, maybe we'll have like 6 figures of a following.
Yeah, but
But like, if we were like a full blown if we were like a Will Witt or a Ben Shapiro or something, we'd fucking hit the millions if we were like, if we fucking tipped off somewhere.
yeah, but I think that's my final words are. Hope everybody has a fucking great week. Don't get sucked into the bullshit. Be on top of everything. Be ahead of the game. Fuck the man. So peace.
Yes, thanks guys for listening. Don't forget to tune in next Monday on July 19th for episode 43. We love you guys and peace out.